how different is Demon Slayer Mugen Train's movie and anime from the manga? Demon Slayer's Mugen Train arc is the only one that has a manga, anime, and movie version. So you may wonder, what are the differences between the three? Well, of course, the main story is the same, but today I will share with you some of the biggest changes I found between one another. 1. Episode 1's events don't appear either in the movie or the manga. This episode works more as a filler to make the events feel more settled and with a stronger background for the anime. It is also very good additional content of Rengoku, in case you're like me and watched the movie first and ended up wanting to see more of the Flame Hashira. 2. In the anime version, there's this little scene with the train driver and the other sick passengers helping Enmu disappear with the flickering of one of the wagon's lights. Suppose you watch the anime without watching the movie first. In that case, this little addition will probably leave you with an uneasy feeling in your chest. 3. In episode 4, there is a beautiful addition to Tanjiro's dream. Once he cuts his neck, we see what happens with his intruder. While he is just admiring Tanjiro's spiritual core, our hero wakes up, making the dream collapse. One of these little guys guiding the intruder holds his hand while he is falling into a void, filling the screen with light and taking us to the opening. This appears in the manga and the anime, but not in the movie. After that, we see Zenitsu and Inosuke's dream intruders in their minds. 4. As I said, we see that one of these creatures stays with the boy while he comes back to reality. But in the manga, we get to know that this creature ends up lighting up his heart as if he had moved in there. I think watching that little detail would have contributed so much to truly understanding the impact of Tanjiro's mind on this kid's life. This little visual would have been incredibly beautiful if animated for the movie, the anime, or both. 5. I also would have loved to see these little creatures comforting and hugging Tanjiro's dream intruder once he started crying at the beauty and peacefulness of Tanjiro's unconsciousness. But this happens neither in the anime nor the movie. Sadly, we only see this in the manga. 6. This is a little bit the opposite of what we're doing in the video, but I think it's worth mentioning that there are no changes in Rengoku's final words in the ending of the movie and its anime version. I think that they didn't modify it because this whole part of the movie is just perfect. The people who didn't watch the film but watched the anime deserve to experience this masterpiece too. Regarding the manga, the animated versions are more detailed in the fight between Rengoku and Akaza. If they had done it exactly as it appears in the manga, it would have been way shorter and less exciting. So we have to thank Ufotable as always for giving us the best of the best. 7. In the movie, we see Ubuyashiki's monologue in the Demon Slayer's cemetery. This monologue doesn't appear in the manga or the anime. You can only watch it in the movie. In this scene, you can feel how Ubuyashiki really loves the Demon Slayer core members and truly believes in a better world. 8. In the movie, the boys get on the train while it's moving, but in the manga and in the anime, we see them already inside and don't have to run after it. In the manga, there's a panel of Inosuke shouting that they're moving. As expected, this doesn't happen exactly like that in the movie or the anime. 9. Both in the movie and the anime, we get a considerably long interaction between the boys finding Rengoku enjoying his meal, and Rengoku saying to Tanjiro that he's never heard of the Hinokami Kagura. These conversations don't appear in the manga. In chapter 54, they jump from umai right to, I don't know, I never heard about this dance before. 10. In the anime and the movie, Rengoku slays 2 different demons. This happens in the 2nd episode of the anime and in the film's first 15 minutes. In the manga, Rengoku only kills 1 demon in chapter 54. 11. In the anime and the movie, Tanjiro is still in his Demon Slayer uniform at the beginning of his dream, and when he finds his siblings, we see him in his old clothing. In the manga, he is wearing his old clothing the whole time instead. I've heard people like the movie and the anime version more because it enhances how Tanjiro lets himself fall deeper into his dream once he sees his siblings and runs to hug them. 12. Zenitsu carrying Nezuko across the river is technically an animated-only scene. Like, it doesn't really appear in the story, but there is this cute little drawing that Gotouge shared with us in the extra chapter 61.5 with the text, Zenitsu's Leaps of Joy, in it. Remember that in season 1, we didn't get the scene in the manga of Zenitsu telling Nezuko that he will take her to where the flowers bloom? Well, I'll take this edition as compensation for it. And you know what would be an amazing compensation for this video? You liking it and subscribing to Mini Katana so that I get compensated for discovering these differences, and you get more awesome Demon Slayer videos. 13. When explaining how dreams work, the manga has the benefit of using this kind of narrator to explain these things. Since they can't do that in the anime or the movie, they made a little mixture of Enmu giving himself a monologue over the train, and a flashback of him explaining to his minions how it worked, so they could destroy the Demon Slayer's spiritual core. 14. Remember that scene of Tanjiro dreaming that his mom was going to make them rice crackers? That is anime and movie-only content. I truly believe this makes it just more painful to watch, like knowing this is all a dream, and how happy Tanjiro is with his family. Ufotable was really playing with our emotions right there. 15. There is an explanation in the manga of why there are some quite savage versions of Zenitsu and Inosuke in their unconscious realms, but it doesn't appear in any of the animated versions. It is only explained in the manga, but I'll tell you about it real quick in case you haven't read it. Usually there shouldn't be anybody in the unconscious area, but when someone has a strong consciousness, then that someone could manifest themselves in their unconsciousness. 16. In the anime, Tanjiro doesn't cut the rope because of his instinct, and that's the only information or reason we get behind the rope not being cut. But in the manga's chapter 58, we get confirmation that Tanjiro's intuition was correct, since cutting the rope would make the person who isn't dreaming lose consciousness for eternity. 17. Right after Rengoku explains the plan to Tanjiro, there's this little scene in the middle of episode 5 of the anime in which Tanjiro recaps what everyone is doing. This little addition also appears at the beginning of chapter 61 in the manga too, yet it is not shown in the movie. I guess they did it to avoid being redundant. 18. Tanjiro insisting on saving the train engineer right after he stabs him doesn't happen in the manga. He just knocks him out and that's it. But I think Tanjiro saving the man is very Tanjiro-like, and I would have missed it if he hadn't made it. 19. In the movie and the anime, there are some illustrations of Tanjiro repeatedly killing himself in his dreams. Again, this is implied but not shown in the manga, but it gives a lot more impact to the moment he almost kills himself in real life. 20. The Kakushi don't appear in the anime and the movie after Rengoku's death, as initially shown in the manga. And thank God they don't, because they would have ruined the whole vibe. 21. Rengoku's bird shedding a tear is also only in the animated versions. Yes, we see the crow flying to tell the other Hashira about Rengoku's death, but there are no tears in its eyes. 22. In the manga, the train is not shown as the cave's master in Inosuke's dream. He only invites his friends to an adventure to go and find him, but that's just about it. I like the animated version better because it makes perfect sense that he dreams of the train being a beast-like creature, since he was obsessed with that idea beforehand. What other differences between the 3 versions of this arc do you know of? Leave your comment down below and let's talk about it. If you liked this video, let me know by giving a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already to find more Demon Slayer content like this. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.